But no, so I see this happening with some of my real life friends. Like one guy in particular, like 10 years ago, I was warning him about not it wasn't really so much wokeness back then, even though it was getting started, but it was more like predatory monetization. All the microtransactions and season passes and all that crap.
Yes.
And I was warning him, and he's just like, it's like, oh, quit being such a fucking hater. Just don't play it if you don't like it. And okay, so I didn't play games that did that. And now, just a few weeks ago, he was crying like a little bitch. Saying, I'm getting sick and tired of all these like nickel and diming and season passes. Like, whose fault is that, you fucking idiot? Like, if you weren't
Right?
there buying every single one of those games, they wouldn't be doing this right now. You've deserved the industry you get.
Absolutely.
But no. So the point is, even as dumb as these fuckers are, that even then they eventually will wake up. Unfortunately, it'll be long after it's too late. At least for the stuff they like. But I'm with you. Like, I don't give a fuck about Disney or Star Wars or Marvel. Like, I don't watch any of that shit anymore. I don't read any of the material. I've gone completely to Japan basically for my and indies for my entertainment. And I don't really give a shit what happens to the rest of the mainstream industry. It's not my fight anymore. If they all just went broke tomorrow, I could not care less.
I agree 1,000%, man.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 33 of the Migtown podcast, your only weekly source for the RGE X BBC crossover event. As always, I'm producer Tim. Joining me is Drexel. Say hi.
Hey, everybody. This is History in the Making. As you guys know, I have a special guest today, a guy that I subscribed to years ago, actually. I told RGE, first time I met him on Rakata's stream, I remember seeing that intro. And when the Viking guy smacked the girl's ass, I said, I'm sold. That was it.
Well, that means my intro served its purpose. It's first off a filter. Again, like, if anyone who's triggered by that, get the fuck out. You're not welcome here. But it also attracts the correct type of people, so it worked. It's great to hear.
RG, I got to ask, because you said the correct kind of people. Have you found women listening to your content? Do you ever like check your metrics or whatever, and they have like, it shows like, the male female breakdown, all that?
Oh yeah, it's like 5%.
Do you ever think of going just like even more overboard? Because I'm recording Thought Girl Summer, and we have a whole lot of tales. We invite women in to share their tales, because there's guys out there that are still living a fantasy and talk about marriage, and women are goddesses and all that. So we strip away that illusion, right? And I just find it funny that I saw your intro and I remember going, oh, I know who would be triggered by this, right? But immediately I'm like, oh, I already know. Like, there's going to be a certain group of women, but RG, deep down, there's going to be a group of women, the same women who say, this is misogynist. They deep down, they love it.
Oh, they do. I mean, we see it time and time again with these feminists. Like, they're always the ones in these BDSM relationships.
Always. You know what, Archie, I got to say this, though. God bless feminists, man. My relationship with feminists, like the more hardcore feminists they are, the more I just love them. I can't help it. Okay, I got to ask the question during our degeneracy stream, what was my guilty pleasure? And I told him, dude, you put a feminist in front of me, I'm just like, God. RG, I kid you not, I can't even help myself. Feminists and lesbians, and we know lesbians don't exist. You just put me around them, I'm like, yes, I know how this night's going to go. And when she starts talking about the patriarchy, I'm like, oh, God bless them.
She wants it. She wants it.
You know it, man. Well, RG, I got to ask you, how did you come up with the name RGE for those people out there who don't know?
Oh, no, actually, that I was gonna before I made my YouTube channel, I wanted something completely different from everything, like a completely different name from any other one I've ever used. Like, you would not believe how stupid some people are. Like they use the same name everywhere on the internet, and then 20 years later, everyone knows you got the hots for the green M&M or something like that. But
Yep.
so I was just looking around, and it's just this news story about like how freaking like golden eagles are like actually just hunting and killing deer. Like, damn, saw a video of that too. It's like, okay, I'm sold, man. It's like I gotta do that.
It's funny because your channel, which funny enough, a lot of your thumbnails even obviously have always shown like, anime girls and all that kind of stuff. And we were talking earlier about the red pill content, how you said similar to how TFM said, which is it's a self-correcting problem. I do believe TFM is where I found you. I believe I was the suggestions algorithm, right? Before YouTube became completely woke. It used to give you like quality suggestions, right? And I remember going like, oh, RG.
Yeah.
So I remember you guys talked about this, which is that whole issue of self-correcting problem. You actually did a story. I want to say it was about a week or two ago, and it addressed a very important topic. And when I go out, I go out to Portland because my sub is out there, right? And Portland, the riot police quit, right? All of them. They just were like, yeah, we're done, right? And
they're smart.
Yeah. You did a story about that. Here's what I find funny. That actually relates directly. It's all interconnected, right? Cancel culture, defund the police, let's get woke. All this, it's all interconnected because you can start to see the parallel, right? If you start saying someone is bad, man bad, right? Man bad, white man bad, black man bad, doesn't matter, right? Man bad, this person bad. You know what, RG? If you don't like our message in our movie, then don't come. And then they don't, and then what happens?
Yep,
I
then they're
just see that
bitch.
movie, right?
No, all these misogynists that hate
This
women
misogynist
change their movie.
so RG, you detail Portland. Dude, I read articles about Portland. That's why I laughed when I saw that you made a video about it, because when I went to Portland, right? The first time I ever went was fall 2018 when she asked me to come out, right? And I would go there, a couple times a year, right? And eventually I remember going like, hey, is it me or is this place bad though? Right? Like I'm looking around like this is well before Floyd, right? And I'm kind of looking around like, I saw a lot of homeless, a lot of drug users, and most everyone that you encounter in the Pacific Northwest is a weed head. So you kind of sit there, you're like, this is a recipe for disaster if anything ever goes wrong. After the George Floyd death and the riots and everything, and then Wheeler, right? Wheeler was going on his full woke tirade, right? And there was the Chaz zone.
Yeah, until he got punched in the face by an
That's
idea.
right.
Yeah, then no. I think Chaz was the best story. It was just a block. It was a block party. It was a summer of love until they rioted in front of the mayor's house. The next day, the cops rolled in, and this is why I keep fucking saying, you want to put an end to this? All you got to do is, if the cops were smart, they would direct all the violent rioters into the rich gated communities where all their supporters live, and it would be over like the next day.
Absolutely. Oh, and this is why I brought it up is that RG, what you just described is ideology meeting reality and karma, right? Because karma in a sense is reality. So RG, if I say that you're a horrible guy for X amount of months or weeks or years, right?
You're probably right.
Yeah. And then when something goes wrong and you are the only person that can help me, right? And then something goes wrong and I look over like, oh man, I know. Wait, RG, what are you doing? Aren't you going to help me? No, you've been bashing me for what? And we're going to look at feminism at least the last 60 years, right? 60 years, man bad. Guys are starting. And remember, if the internet existed back then, I believe that we would have seen this accelerate much quicker, right? But it kind of was drip, 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 cut, little cuts, right? Now we're into 2021, and RG, I don't know if you've made a video about this, but it kind of ties into this whole topic. The amount of chameleons and the amount of "we need you back" men videos. Have you seen more of that?
Not particularly, but that's just because I don't watch those people's videos anymore. But I have actually been looking at what's going on, well, has been going on in Europe the past couple of years, and I'm seeing. Well, you pretty much just described, right? So you call me all these, every bad name in the book, and then suddenly you need my help, and you expect me to be there. Well, in Europe, no, the men are perfectly fine letting quote unquote their women just experience some karma at the hands of some immigrants. Like,
That's right.
you were the one that was out there protesting, and even better, the ones that were out there saying, like, I'd rather have rapists than racist or something. And then inevitably when it happens, they're wondering, like, oh, all the men just watched, they didn't do anything. Like, well, you're strong and independent and
You don't need no man.
and biology's just a social construct, and men are all toxic anyway. So, and nowadays we just like, and I'll be honest, I'm at the point now, if I see anything bad happening to almost anyone I don't know, the most I will do is call the cops. And I might just leave, walk like an extra block, call the cops, but that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to because I've seen so many stories. My favorite one, it was in a bar somewhere where this woman and her boyfriend were getting into a fight, and he started beating her ass, and this fucking white knight mangina interfered, and the woman sided with her boyfriend who was just whooping her ass, and they both nearly killed the guy. Like, see? Just don't let things play out. It's like I'm fucking done trying to help people that don't want to be helped. Like, it's over. Like, you guys are on your own.
Now, RG, I have to dock you a few cool points, and here's why. When you said the most you'll do is call the cops, RG, that is unacceptable.
Well, that's very conditional. Yeah. That is very conditional. Like, it depends. I mean, honestly, if I was walking down the street and I saw some Antifa guy getting curb stomped, I'd pretend I didn't see anything and just keep walking. But again, it depends. Like, if it was like some fucking like granny or grandpa or something,
the only time
I might actually interfere then. But honestly, if it was like some mental illness haircut getting pounded, like, oh, I ain't seen shit. Nope.
Yeah, dude, it's beautiful because Koopa put in the chat about no white knight stepped up. Our man RPM did a video about that. And it's something that a lot of us have talked about over the last, I would say, especially the last 5 years, right? Like the infamous story in Europe. It was in England where the woman was on the subway, right? And she got attacked by a diversity is our strength person, right? And she gets accosted or whatever, and I think she got her purse snatched away and got hands put on her, right? And none of the men helped. Oh, you mean those toxic white males, right? So the beauty of it is, RGE, is that you're starting to see the collapse of simp culture. And think about it. We have charlatans like Derek Jackson, right? These dating coach guru guys that sit here and pander to women. Charlemagne the God from the Breakfast Club, DJ Envy. You're seeing all these dudes, white, black, whatever color. RG, have you noticed? They're starting to get exposed, right? A lot of these charlatans and that's why I said, I know you don't see it, but some of the guys I'm subscribed to, remember, it's not that I'm looking for the video. They put the video on blast, right? Coach Greg Adams, Hammerhand, Undead Chronic, Taylor the Fiend, those Warband guys, shout out to them. What ends up happening, RGE, is that they put up these women's TikTok videos and stuff, right? On full display, right? And it's like, well, this is what you wanted, right? So RGE, I kid you not. The more I'm out and about, the more I can see. Oh yeah, don't forget Moist Watkins. Yeah, fuck that dude. So RGE, I see the effects of wokeness in the culture that surrounds us. RGE, you can go out right now. Dudes, remember, we all harped on Me Too, right? Guys don't talk to women at all, RGE. I've seen it with my own eyes, bro. I don't know what you've been seeing in your neck of the woods. It's over.
No, I've been seeing the exact same thing. At this point, like guys are just like, it's not worth it. It's like, oh yeah, you're nice and all, but how do I know that? No, maybe I'm going to be a millionaire 20 years later, and you're going to need a quick buck. And
Yep.
suddenly, oh, 20 years ago, he looked at me funny. Nah, I'm just done.
Yeah, I think you talk about doing your own content and all that stuff. Obviously, we talked on Rakata's show about your comic book stuff, and you have some other projects. And I'll be getting to that point also. Is that I think all of us in this space are kind of getting there. And one of the things that I find very, very heartwarming about that is that the guys are not only helping each other, but like there's also a sense, and I want your take on this, is what do you view is the future of all this content on this platform that we call the internet due to all the censorship, right? Because we saw Trump suing big tech, and this has been an issue with a lot of people, right? They've been suppressing subscriber counts, deleting comments, yeeting people's whole channels. So what is your take on censorship and its effects on this space?
Well, so first off about Trump, 5 years too late. He had
Agreed.
4 years in office that he could have cracked down on these. But I mean, honestly, I don't really blame him so much. It's just that big tech owns the government. Like they tugged on the leashes of both parties. So if Trump went after him, the rhinos would have roasted him alive with the Democrats.
Yep.
So I think that was, he may have wanted to do something, but whatever. It is what it is. But as for the future is 20 years in the past. And what I mean by that is, remember before social media, how you got that, how each community had its own forums and they were completely
Facts.
decentralized. Like, I mean, we're seeing this with Migtown already. There's Migtown forums everywhere, hosted, was it self-hosted, so they can't be canceled by anybody. And
Yep.
even better, I'm in some communities actually. Not only are they self-hosted, but they've gone completely dark, like private invite only. Unless you get invited in, you don't even know they exist. And I think that's where a lot of things are headed, at least for the stuff that's the more controversial, I guess. But for people like us, the reason I'm still here is, despite most of my hot takes, I'm still pretty milquetoast as far as this sector of YouTube goes. Like, compared to what most other people with similar views say, I'm not even on their radar, I don't believe.
I
But,
agree because here's the thing, RG. I just had TFM on last week, right? And I talked to Dollhouse Phil about this, and I said, look, I asked Dollhouse Phil, I said, Dollhouse Phil, why does TFM keep getting yeeted off of everything? Now, I knew he was going to get yeeted when I first listened to the guy, and I subscribed to his channel. I said, and I realized after about 6 months of listening, I remember going, wait a minute, he's dropping too many truth bombs. He's going to get yeeted. I remember thinking that, and this is back in, like, I want to say 2017, right? And Dollhouse Phil said it's ultimately the whole women vote thing, right? And I was like, if I were TFM, I would just have the same message and just work around the women vote thing, because if that's what's getting me yeeted, like you should be adapting at that point, right?
yeah, I agree. No, that's what I've been doing actually. Like, I know all my talk about censorship, but I'll self-censor enough to stay on the platform. But I just adjusted why I'm here for. Like,
Yeah.
all right,
Well,
you know
it's-
what? And in the future, I think I will eventually set up my own website and everything. So I think that's what the future I see for social media. Because this is actually, I advocate anytime you encounter one of these woke tards, just block them. Like, don't even interact. They say they want to have a discussion, they want to have a conversation.
Nope.
But what that translates into is they're going to give you a lecture and you're just going to shut the fuck up and listen. And then as soon as you disagree with them, they're going to mass flag you and find something to just take your channel down. So I just block them. I just don't interact with them anymore. As soon as they show up in my mentions, just take out the trash. And that's twofold. So first off, it extends my life on these platforms because I'm not engaging with the bad actors. And even then, like I've kind of shifted towards using these platforms to direct people elsewhere. And I think that's the future of social media in general. I just put out a press release basically like, hey, check out my forum for more info or something like that. And just
Absolutely.
get people. I mean, I still think social media is useful for finding new people, but you shouldn't be social on social media unless you're 100% drinking the Kool-Aid. So that's and then also the second advantage of just blocking all the bad actors. These people are professional victims. They need an oppressor to fight against at all times. As soon as you get off their radar, they look out and they're looking for their next target, and all they see are other wokies. And then the regressive stack starts unraveling. It's like, all right, we got rid of all the white men, so black men are next, and then
Yep.
white women, and then the gay men, and they're just gonna unravel. And I'm just gonna have my popcorn and laugh. It's like, hey, you know what? These are the guys. This is who you hitched your wagon to. I
That's
hope you enjoy it.
right. Well, RG, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to ask you about something. You know, Coach Ray Adams talked about his bully fish. He had a bully fish story. And like you said, they always want an oppressor, right? So they can be the new bully because you empower these people. And RG, I look at kind of just how this whole thing is unraveling, right? And there was something that I said a good while back, and I said the next gender war does not include men. It's going to be amongst women. It's going to be a bunch of proxy battles amongst women in the trans community duking it out because this is why I say that, RG. Okay,
I can't wait. I cannot.
You can't wait, right?
That is
Because
gonna be great.
Because RG, what did we say earlier? When with the Portland riot squad, right? It's when your ideology meets reality, right? Who's been pushing for the trans community this whole time and calling everyone else a bigot?
Yep,
It
it's
was
almost
women.
always women, specifically white women. The
I
same
was just about
white
to say that.
women that are now bitching that their sports are being destroyed by trans women. Like, quit being transphobic. I'm going to
That's
report
right.
you to the turfs.
And in RG, like we said earlier about the Portland riot squad, right? If they were going to call us the red pill riot squad, every time one of these girls gets her face or her skull crushed by Fallon Fox, and then do you know who are they running to for help? It's dudes. Man, this is wrong. No, it's right. Stop being so, like you said, stop being so trans. You use everything they just used against you. And I find there's a great irony to this, right? A very tragic irony from their perspective, right? Because now what they've effectively done and feminism has effectively boxed itself in. So now those women, so the women who allowed the feminazis, the rabid, angry feminists, to dictate all these rules, the Me Too culture and everything, right? Someone goes, well, so Drex, where did that leave them now?
Not
like
my
I
problem.
said, RG. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it sounds like a whole lot of not my fucking problem to me.
It's not a problem because that's the problem. Remember, that's what they said. RG, do you remember the early days of Me Too? Do you know that I only saw a handful of women? I remember it. I don't remember exact names. I want to say Laura Ingraham was one of them. That I'm like 90% sure it was her. She's like the one I remember. And also, of course, like the women that you expect, like Dr. Helen Smith and people like that, Karen Strawn. They warned about Me Too early. When I say early on, I'm talking about like within like the first month. They go, wait a minute. And they looked at like, you guys do know if you start doing this, men just won't want to be around you ever. Not alone, right? And you saw it. Women as a collective were all over it. And so were the beta males, right? Who enabled it. And
well, no, you already said women. There's no need to.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because beta males are just, they're women with male sex organs. That's all it is. And there's that Wall Street article, right? From Bloomberg, Wall Street avoid women at all costs. And you started seeing more and more dudes close up their wallet. More and more dudes stop doing relationships. Marriage is done, right? It's over. Marriage as an institution, RGE, where I live, I kid you not, I've seen at least 3 wedding places go out of business. This is pre-COVID, before COVID.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, and I mean, I keep telling guys too, like if you are still like that stuck in the past, you have to have the 2.5 kids and the white picket fence and all that. You still can get it, You just have to go to some third world country and stay there. Like, no, Eddie Murphy was telling you this shit in the 80s.
I want half Eddie.
Yep. Yeah, fucking Eddie Murphy was warning us even back then. And so many guys didn't listen. So whatever. not my problem.
Not my problem. Now, RG, we got to talk about that briefly. What do you think about male apathy?
I think that's the only logical conclusion. Like, so we get called benevolent sexists or whatever. Like, if we help, we get called misogynists if we don't. So, hey, no, you guys, you're gonna yell at us either way. Just wipe each other out. I don't care anymore. Like, I don't care what you do. Now, that's my strategy right now. Is I'm trying to I guess, bunker down and fortify myself as much as I can, knowing what's coming. Yeah, I'm like, there's a flood coming, and I'm the only guy that's getting to high ground. Like, I'm not going to jump in there and save you guys when the flood comes in. I'm just going to be there watching. Like, nope, that's and see my favorite part before I forget with the feminists in particular. I think the reason you haven't seen more women coming out against trans women in women's sports is and feminists especially. They are so furious. They're seething over this because they have no argument against trans women, or rather, to argue against trans women, they would have to admit the central pillar of their ideology is a big lie. Yep. They've been saying for decades there's no difference between men and women. Women can do anything a man can do, but better while wearing high heels and pregnant. There's like biology's a social construct. And now that trans women are taking over all the women's sports, they can't say anything without admitting everything they told us to this point was a lie. And I love seeing how it's eating them up inside. Like, you could tell they want help, but they can't ask for it without admitting they've been useful idiots for the past 30 years.
Facts. You know what's funny about that is this question was posed to me. I want to say a couple of years ago, but then like recently again, I think someone in the chat asked me. They asked me about about what the whole guys who call themselves heterosexual men dating or dealing with trans women, right? And RG, here's the thing. Here's where, because TFM figured this out years ago, as did I, right? Because once you sit down and think about this critically, you realize the way to win is that people on both sides of the stacking spectrum, right? So the people at the bottom and the people at the top, all they have to do is just put aside their differences, and they are natural allies. So someone goes, okay, so who's the bottom? You are the bottom, RGE. The cis white male is the bottom of the stack, right? On the opposite end is the trans community, right? So once these people join forces, they realize real quick, wait a minute, this is easy. So when a guy wants to identify as a woman and bash a girl's skull in, you can't have dudes saying this is wrong. No. We have to shut them out, right? Just the same way feminists, when a woman says, well, I want to stay home, be a stay-at-home mom. No, we're not going to allow you to be that. Even though we said that you can be anything you want to be, we just want you to be a career woman, right? Well, RG, guess what? What happens when dudes go like this? We only protect people who respect us. And what would happen, RG, if people were like this? As you know, chivalry was amongst knights. It was amongst men. It was not extended to women. So what happens when dudes only look out for other dudes, right? Like, yo, RG, I got your back. Oh, a trans woman was being bullied online. We'll support our trans woman. You see what I'm saying? So all of a sudden, like you just said, they start to run out of room because now their ideology starts to collapse. Because I told you, RG, I've seen the videos, man. When I tell you guys, these chicks are getting desperate, and I believe I found what it is that's made them so desperate, right? Trying to, men, come back. And you see this. I saw this happen in the black community. I want to say about 3 years ago. I want to say 3 to 4 years ago. You start hearing black women, we need to rebuild black families. As remember when Trump put the clamp down on all that welfare? Do you remember that? There was like that gap when the government shut down. You remember that?
Yeah, no, I remember.
A lot of them.
And I'm sure you've been around for a few years, so I'm sure you know the talking points that have long been stated in this community.
Oh, absolutely.
Are that these women, especially the single mothers, They're strong and independent and don't need no man until they can't get our money by government proxy
That's
anymore.
right.
Then suddenly, no, like, just look at Venezuela. I think that's the best example.
Best.
So now Venezuela completely collapsed. The men are finding ways to deal with it. The women,
Prostitute.
they're crossing the border into Colombia and whoring themselves out for sandwiches. Like,
And I love it.
Yeah, I read this article about some like high flying like super doctor woman who's now just a prostitute. I'm not hearing about the male doctors prostituting themselves. They're able to find a way to make a living being doctors. What's that got to say about her?
Because they were always propped up. And RG, the thing that I found to be most telling during this whole chameleon rise, and let me just say a quick shout out to all you guys out there. Watch out for these chameleons. Hammerhand, Undead Chronic, RPM, everybody else who's chronicled this, especially Lion of Migtown. Shout out to LOM. They have been chronicling. Dude, it hit me one day, RG. This is what hit me. The reason why you're seeing all these videos from women is it's not just desperation. Like, oh my God, I need a man for provision protection because my security is threatened. No. It goes deeper. Something really beautiful happened. And it's what we just talked about earlier. RGE, it's apathy. Because think about it. Guys aren't anger. They aren't angry, right? They aren't bitter. They aren't screaming, oh, I hate women. Do you know what they're doing? RG, I kid you not. A woman could walk up to a lot of guys out there in like scantily clad. I've seen this with my own eyes. I see this at the gym where women are scantily clad looking for attention, like, as they always are, right? I kid you not. Dudes are just like, It doesn't spark anything. It doesn't spark like intrigue. Nothing. Like it's literally like the guys like their emotional state is completely been flatlined. Like, don't you care? That's as most as you get.
Yeah,
Have you kind of seen that too?
Caring years ago.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this is like, in RG, you know, like just the nature of men. It takes a Herculean effort to get men to just not care, right? At all, like not anger, nothing, just apathy, just. Look, RG, when you said earlier, the most you would do is call cops. I'm not joking. When I tell you I feel absolutely nothing, I'll be out and about. Like you said, unless I know you, the only other thing I'll say is much like you said. If it involves elderly, I'll step in. If I see something happen to kids, I'll step in. Anything else, I mean literally anything else, nothing. I feel nothing.
Well, even when it comes to kids, I'd be very. I'm sure you've seen those stories as well, like the dudes who find a lost kid and help them out, and then they're smeared as pedophiles and kidnappers. So I wouldn't even risk helping a kid anymore. Like, again, I would call other people to help them. Yeah.
Oh yeah. If I saw like a kid in danger, like someone was trying to get a kid into a car, Jeffrey Epstein style, I'd be like, okay, now I know that this kid is in danger. But like, if I just saw a kid, I'd be like, someone gonna, help that kid? Like, I'll keep my eye on it. But doing something, RGE, that's how much society has denigrated men. For a guy to apathy, RG, remember, not anger, not hatred, not frustration, nothing. Easily a blank slate. Just I feel nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, and this fits in also for a lighter topic with the entertainment industry. One of my favorite points is that I actually appreciate it when some of my own customers, like my own fans, are mad at me for something, because at least they're taking the time to voice their displeasure and letting me know, and that means I still have a chance to fix it. But once they stop caring, it's over. Like there's nothing I can do. It's like me with Star Wars. Dude,
to me.
They could come out with the best thing since Empire Strikes Back, and I still wouldn't give a shit. Like it like just like you said, it's dead to me. I don't care. Like there's nothing they can do to convince me to come back anymore. And that's when it's over, because you could recover from people being mad at you. But as soon as they walk away and stop caring, like that's it. Like you literally can't do anything anymore.
But RG, that's the beauty. Because look, I had we had this talk. I can't remember who I was talking to about this. It might have been in a live Q&A, right? Where I said to myself, I said, I want you to go back, right? So RG, let's go back to, I want to say it was 97, right? 97 was Batman and Robin, right? Okay. Batman Forever, people had mixed feelings, right? And then you got to Batman and Robin, which was an abject failure, right? Now, RG, I don't know about where you come from, but where I come from, no one canceled Batman. Remember what we just said. It's about having an emotion, right? Like if they're angry, they were angry, right? That's good. That means they still care, right? They want to care, right? So when Batman Begins came out with Christopher Nolan as the director, people said, I forgive you. I forgive Batman and Robin, right? What you don't want is to get to a point which is where Star Wars is at, where RG, I just don't care. They could come back right now and say, George Lucas is back. He's back with some great screenwriters. This is the Hall of Fame dream team lineup of to create this new Star Wars movie. I kid you not, RG. They could announce it tomorrow. I'd be just like this. I feel nothing. And if you know me, I love Star Wars. The first 6 movies, the only 6 movies. I don't acknowledge you, except Rogue One. We'll allow Rogue One.
I was just gonna correct you there, but thankfully you caught it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Star Wars is only 6 movies. The Rise, Fall, and Redemption of Anakin Skywalker. Nothing else really matters. We'll allow Rogue One in there. That was the only movie that was acceptable. And what ends up happening is, RG, Batman got bad, right? It got terrible, right? But it never insulted the fan base in terms of they weren't releasing presses saying, this movie isn't for you. They just went the wrong, what it reminds me of? It's like the prodigal son, right? Imagine your kid goes the glitz and glamour route, right? It's like, it was like a phase, right? Imagine you have a kid who went emo, right? You don't hate your kid. You're frustrated. You're disturbed, but yet when it's a phase.
I make this distinction a lot that, there's a difference between mistake and betrayal, because betrayal's not a mistake. Like that is 100% intentional. Yeah. So which is why. When a company makes a mistake, you could be forgiven for putting out a bad product as long as you learn your lesson. That's fine. It happens. Especially the more stuff you put out there, not everything's going to be a hit. We get it.
Thank you.
As long as you learn from your mistake. But if your response to having the mistake pointed out is to attack your own audience, you're done. There's no recovering from that. And it's the same thing with censorship. Now ideally, any type of censorship is already a big red flag. But there's been 2 companies that handled it as best as they could. One of Vespa, they're not the scooter. There's this Korean company. They censored their game. Their audience revolted, and 2 days later, they were apologizing and reverting the censorship. Okay, I could understand, because the people that made that decision, I know how the game industry works. The people making the decisions aren't gamers. In fact, they hate gamers. But at least they had the presence of mind to admit they fucked up. And actually, the other one was 7 Seas. They localize manga and light novels. They were busted with some pretty bad censorship after advertising themselves as the most edgy anti-censorship of the bunch, and they did the best they could. They did reprints, and they offered people free replacements. Again, that's as best as you could. Well, actually, no, second best. What they should have done was named the people responsible, so no one ever hires them again in this industry. That needs to happen.
Well, I want your take on that.
That's
what do
sabotage.
you feel? What do you feel should be? Because I believe that the way that you beat counterculture is 2 ways. 1, you just don't allow yourself to be canceled. 2, you counter cancel culture with cancel culture, right? So it'd be the counter cancel culture. So, like you just said, when someone tries to do this censorship stuff, or someone tries to go woke, you go ahead and you go ahead and put them on the drawbridge, right? You go like this is the guy.
I get a lot of shit from the tradcucks about this, but fuck them. I don't care about their opinions anyway. They're the ones that let things get this bad. I really don't care what they have to say.
Agreed.
But I keep saying we need to gatekeep. The reason things are so bad right now is because we didn't gatekeep. We let these pieces of shit in. I still remember like when I used to moderate on a few forums. They're like, I was trying to warn some of these people. I was like, dude, these guys openly hate us. Why are you just letting them into the community? Like, oh, but once they see how awesome we are and how great our hobby is, don't you want to turn them around? And look where that got us. Like, no, people who are known bad actors, I will never work with them. And for any dipshit out there that's like, oh, you're just as bad as them, no. There's a key difference because I personally will never have anything to do with them. As soon as they out themselves, just cut them off for good. Never working with them, never going to be in the same room as them. Nope, I'm done. But that's where it ends. I'm not going to go after them everywhere they go. Like if they get a job at Walmart, I'm not going to be calling up Walmart. It's like, you're employing a racist, right? It's like, no, right? I just want nothing to do with it. They've made it clear for the past 10 years how much they hate my guts and want me to die. I'm not just going to forget that. It's like, no, fuck you. If I saw you on the side of the road, I wouldn't even piss on you to put a fire out if you were on fire. Fuck you.
That's the way you have to feel. Because RG, it's funny you say about gatekeeping, because I actually had a little star on that in my notes here, because you're right. I can recall a time where people used to gatekeep, right? Like you couldn't just it was like you said. You remember in some of these old movies back in the day, they were like secret clubs. Remember even in Fight Club, right? What's the first rule of Fight Club? We don't talk about Fight Club, right? And even though they broke the rule, at least it was still a bunch of guys fighting, right? And of course they have to add a woman in there. We know how that turned out. But RG, here's the thing about gatekeeping. I think it actually comes from something deeper. And that's that stupid quest for outside validation, right? Because
100%, yeah. That's a problem most men have. Like that's
what dude. So Eagle, we talked about this with Dollhouse Phil, and my take is different than some other guys, because some of these red pill channel guys, I think they devolve into what I call red pill meathead, right? And what red pill meathead is that's the mindset where you I'm not gonna say you dip into outright misogyny, but what ends up happening is you start to only see red, right? No, man, women are evil. But here's the thing, though. Here's where Dollhouse Phil and I realize how important women are. RG, what if you sat at a table with 50 guys and they all said they're red pill, right? Oh yeah, fuck these bitches. I'm red pill. How would you know for sure, right? You wouldn't really know, right?
No, dude. I learned my lesson a long time ago. Like I don't want to bring up
around
them. No, not even just women. There's so many bitch-made tradcucks that call themselves red pill, and really they're just God, they will gladly go. There was one blowjob away from the plantation, those guys. They're just coming fresh off of a divorce and they're angry, but they're still every bit the mangina they've always been. And it's always those guys that will stab you in the fucking back. And that's
dude. We talked about that. No, RG, real shit. We actually talked about that in a live Q&A, because I was like, I thought about this. I said, look, man, you start asking guys who know me. Guys like Nick Riccati have only known me going to decade number 3, right? There was never some beef over females with Nick and I. It just wouldn't happen, right? But you start looking at, dude, I did a stream, the marriage stream, right? With Mr. Out of the Darkness himself, right? Bitch Made Q. And he considers himself a traditionalist, a tradcon. They are the biggest, they're worse simps than the blue pill white knight male feminist types, like the leftists. People think the leftist guy is no. It's the right-leaning guy who's a bigger simp and a bigger cuck. You see what I'm saying? Because we talk about gatekeeping, and you talk about forums and stuff, right? Do you know what Coach Greg Adams did a video recently? He talked about the lack of standards. RGE, we see this all around. There was a time when if you were going to be a bride, a woman knew, I better be a virgin. I better know how to cook. I better know how to clean. I better be someone who knows how to raise children, right? She had all these she had all these standards that she had on herself, because she knew in order to get a man, I need to have these things, right? Males' standards have gotten so low They're taking chicks with tattoos, single moms, fat chicks. And you're like looking like, bruh. But RG, that's no different than the gaming community. Someone like Neil Cuckman should have never been allowed in the gaming circle, right? Someone should have looked at this dude and sized him up like, wait a minute, man. You're wearing a man bun unironically. I don't know if I can trust you. I need to kind of, we're not going to put you as like a head of a studio. We're going to keep you here to make sure that you just stick to the good points of your content, right? Because so RG, did you notice what happened? The gaming world didn't get so terrible until they put the right, quote unquote, obviously wrong guys in charge, because Neil Cuckman is what he is. But yet you put someone like Anita Sarkeesian around Neil Cuckman, and then what does he do? Oh, we need to go full woke with diversity and representation and Abbyzilla. See? So Neil on his own is bad enough, right? Like he has his limitations. But when you have that female, do you remember in Shakespeare? Do you remember Lady Macbeth?
Yeah.
Do you remember how she had all the ambition? Like Macbeth on his own was not that ambitious, right? It was Lady Macbeth who pushed him to be more ambitious. Because you know this, if you ever dealt with women, women are always pushing you. Get that promotion, get more money, do this, do that. They're always trying to push guys to do more for them, not for the guy, for themselves.
They definitely do, and that's why they're so surprised when they realize that as single guys we're fine. We could live on a part-time job, and because we don't have some harpy just constantly demanding more. But here's the catch-22. If you're a guy and you think that's a good thing, the number of men I've seen get divorced after playing this game for a few years.
Yes.
So no, you know how the pattern goes, right? It's like first, she's bitching. It's like, oh, you need to make more money. Oh, I want to take like 3 vacations a year. It's like, oh no, we got to pay for Susie's college, and so then you take overtime. You start working. Then it turns to it's like you're never around anymore. We don't spend any time together. What the fuck do you want? Yeah, and then of course, you come home early one day hoping to give her a nice surprise and find your neighbor in bed with her.
Blowing her back out, fam. Yeah. It happens so often.
It's Drexel,
and I'm actually going to do a show. Yeah, RG, it might be me. Here's the thing: I gotta be fair. It would never be me because, as you guys know, I don't smash these married, lying, cheating married chicks at the marital home. That's a big no-no because that's how you wind up getting killed. So, hotels only. And I will say this though, RGE, the fact that women are putting all their business out there, openly displaying their hypergamy, right? Telling women how to cheat. I know you've heard about those videos, right? How to divorce, rape him. There's a book called, How to Destroy a Man. RG, I tell guys out here, I've been on Nick's show for years now. I told dudes this, in my regular life, I've always been like this, right? Yeah, shout out to True Story. Guys like me were telling dudes, yo, man, this is what it's like. RG, I think back, do you know who actually clapped back at me more? It wasn't the leftist dude. It was the tradcucks.
Yeah.
It was, dude. Here's the thing. I'm gonna be fair with you. This is what was kind of very bizarre. It's like we truly live in a clown world. The leftist guy, right? When these bitches ain't shit. Do you know what the leftist guy will say? He may say not all women are like that, right? But here's the difference. He will admit and agree with you on certain stuff, right? He'll be like, yeah, I know these women are cheating. So they will be on. At least they'll give you that, right? They'll throw you a bone, right? You talk to a tradcuck, RG, women can do no wrong, none
They've
wrong.
Been trained well.
I'm sitting there looking I'm like, bro, like she's cheating on you. No, Drex, dude. I've had guys want to fight me over the things I was saying, right?
And that's why I don't do it anymore. It's like shit. I'm in the same position as you. Like I've had a few friends. Like I knew their girlfriends were cheating on them.
Yep.
But as soon as I brought it up, they got hostile towards me. Like, all right, fine, you do you.
Do you? Yep.
And then, of course, like 5 months later, she was cheating on me. Like, if only someone had fucking told you. If only
Right?
you listened to your best friend instead of some dumb fucking bunch of pussy, you know? Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Dude, RG, and it's so painful because here's what happens. We're talking about, there's a certain apathy, not only in the manosphere space in regards to these females, but in the real world also. But I believe that the opposite is true in the male space, which is it's because we care. I confessed to Ty Beard, even before I went on Nick's show, that my biggest character flaw is I have this endless, inexplicable empathy and compassion. I wish I didn't, because RG, I've had people say, well, Drax, well, why do you think I started the channel, RG? Why do you think I started it? Because I got you see me on Nick's show, I got so sick of dudes saying the stuff I say isn't true, or it's just the people I'm around. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start my own show, and I'm going to bring on the women who are doing all this fuck shit, all the cheating, right?
Well, mine's different. My woman would never do that.
Oh, she would never. And so what happens is, look, RG, we did a panel discussion, right? We went to guys. We had actual subscribers interview, and these guys come from all around the world, right? This guy's over in Asia. This guy is over in Maryland. I got my man over here in Alabama. This person's in South America, all over, right? We had Europe. And do you know what they all said? All of them came to the same conclusion. There's basically no marriageable women out there. Next to none, right? I asked them straight up, what percent? And they were just kind of like, man, look, we even had Vic Mignogna's mom on. Do you know what Vic Mignogna? Yes, the famous voice actor Vic Mignogna. Do you know what his mom said is the amount of marriageable women? This woman has got to be in her, what now, 80s? Do you know how many women she said are marriageable? Zero. None. Not five. Zero.
No, I would actually say there might be an exception if you live in the correct country, because I mean like you talk about this with Nick all the time, that it's options that really do it, and
it's the options and attention.
It's both men and women, by the way. Like I don't want to look like I'm saying only women do it. No, I've seen men do it too, where they it's like if you could just pull up Tinder right now and hook up with someone in the next 2 hours, and your current partner is being a fucking bitch, like I don't have to put up with you. It's like, get the fuck out of here. But then you get stuck in perpetual hookup culture. And that's when things get interesting. Oh no, you were saying earlier like how men's standards have gotten lower. I will admit, my standard for a one night stand is not all that high, I guess. But if we're talking marriage, it's like I think 0%. Yeah.
And that was the thing. Like this is where people get me confused. Because I've had people say, "Oh, Drax is a hypocrite. He has all these double standards." I said, No. I said, dude, the standard for a hookup, and you know this, you know how men are, RG. Men and women are different when it comes to sex and relationships. When it comes to just smashing, men go for the lowest common denominator, right? Like, what is the lowest level to just smash, right? Just to get the dick wet, right? Men will dip pretty low. They'll go in the trash bag, right? They go, man. I mean, it's a thirsty Tuesday. It is what it is. But when it comes to relationship,
it's 3 a.m. and there's no one else here.
No one else here. I mean, what is last call at the bar, RG? Has that not what it's always been? A guy's like, well, it's this fat chick or nothing, right? So a man can easily dip his standards. Like, yeah, sure. I mean, because all we have to do is find a feature that we like. You know what, man? RG, I really like this girl's chest. Man, she has a great chest. I'm just going to focus on this chest because the rest of her body is trash. It's easy for a guy to do that. That's how men are designed. They're visual. Because all we have to do is Hulk smash.
And it gets even easier now too, because I mean, I'm sure you TFM. He's got his doll.
Yep.
And then the rest of us are just like, I'm fine with hentai or even just. And now I'll say I've crossed the threshold. Like I'm such a boomer now, where I've crossed that magical threshold when your brain starts taking over for your dick, and at this point, I view like sexual release to be like just like taking a dump, basically. Like it's something you do when the urge hits you to get it out of the way, and then you could get back to what you were doing, so it's not distracting you anymore.
I view it the exact same way. RG, because I've had people accuse me of being like some kind of like sex fiend or something. I go, dude. I go, the amount of times I smash in a year is actually pretty low, right? Because think about it. RG, there's 365 days in a year, right? So we're at 365 days. But if you were to ask most dudes, even guys who smash more than average, how many times did they remember? Let's just say different women, right? The number is actually relatively small. And someone goes, why is that? I go, dude, because of the amount of BS you have to deal with. You see what I'm saying? We have an abundance mindset. Look, RG, before Me Too, before all the nonsense came, look, man, I was just smashing. I just ran through them, right? So it's what I did, right? Especially in the suburbs where all these chicks are cheating. So, quick shit. For any of you guys out there in the suburbs who live in the suburbs in America, I'm assuming it's the same anywhere in the West, Australia, New Zealand, Europe. Your girl is getting smashed, okay? I don't know if you heard about this, RGE, but there's a new TikTok challenge where you take her phone, right, and lock the door. Have you heard about this?
I've never seen the videos, but I've heard about it, and yeah, that is how you discover all this. Yeah.
RG, when I tell you these girls go into a panic, I don't just mean like oh my God, they go into an all-out panic. I actually I posted one today. They panic.
And just so this puts something into perspective because this is something we've been pointing out for years as well. Like notice that when you're in a relationship, she thinks she owns you. Like you always have to tell her where you are at all times. If she asks for your phone, it's like, what, you trying to hide something from me? I knew you were cheating on me. It's because that's what they do. And notice they never reciprocate. Like
it's all projection.
If I was leaving the house and I didn't tell her where I was going, I must be cheating on her. If she's leaving the house, say, hey, honey, where you going? You don't own me. Like, okay. Well, no. When you come back, all your shit will be in front of the door. You just get lost.
Well, it's funny you say that because I had this conversation with a younger guy today, right, about just the nature of projection and all this. And so here's what happened to him. This is actually the same guy who was in one of our 12 days of Thought Mist Stories, Thought on a Cross. This dude is dating a girl or whatever, right? And he took her, of all places, RG, he took her to the Dominican Republic. Now, if you know anything about the DR, the way the women look there is 10 times better than America, right? I want you to imagine what happened. Remember, he's a really good looking dude. No cap. He's a very good looking dude. Like a lot of women here or anywhere are gonna look at him and go, "Oh yeah, I want some of that." Right? He said they got off the plane in the DR, and she immediately, you can see the insecurity. Because I said, "No cap." I said, "I want you to rate your girlfriend." I go, "Take away your emotions. If she was just a girl walking the street, what would you get? What would her honest rating be?" He goes, "Honestly, in America, somewhere between an 8 and a 9, right?" He said, if he takes away his emotions, like this is my girlfriend. He said, just straight up 8 or a 9, right? Now, I said, I want you to be honest with me. When you guys landed in the DR, what would you rate her compared to the women in the DR? You know what he said?
A 3.
He goes, man, 4. He goes, 5 would be the absolute max, but more like a 4. A 4. Well, no, she's a 9, 8 to 9 in America. She became a 4 or 5 in the DR.
No, that's a problem that a lot of this is kind of tying in with what I've been pointing out before, that if you're an American and you go travel overseas for any length of time and then come back, it is just a hit and just a smack in the face at how many land whales are waddling around here. Like nowhere else in the world has that fucking. So you could be in like Europe, Asia. I mean, I guess maybe there's some South American countries that are pretty bad in that regard. But if you go outside of the Americas, wow, everyone is so fit and thin and good looking, and then you come back to America. Oh, dang it,
man! Well, Eagle, go to like a state fair. Like I live in Minnesota, right?
Oh God!
You've heard.
It's going whaling. That's what that is. Holy and no, even better. You know what we got at ours? We got deep fried butter.
Yeah. Oh, man, dude, I saw that. That was at the Iowa State Fair and like a couple other places. I thought it was a joke. You know when someone says something to you and you go, that's funny, and then they just stare at you and you're like, oh, you're not joking, bruh. Someone goes, I tried it. It tasted like a Twinkie. I'm like, but you still tried it though, right? You bought deep fried butter, and that was okay with you. And you know what they look like. They look exactly the way you think they looked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet, RGE, these guys, and I told guys this, I was actually out in Colombia with my dear beloved friend, Miss Colombia. Shout out to her, by the way. I was out in Colombia with Miss Colombia in the home of Escobar, Medellin, right? When I tell you, RGE, if we did a woman swap, or let's say we did a woman swap, right? We took the women of Colombia, and then all the women in Colombia suddenly, poof, Thanos snap. They're all in America. And in exchange, the Colombian men now get all the women in America. RG, overnight, you would see a bunch of men in America suddenly happy, and the men of Colombia suddenly pissed, right? Like, we don't want these fat cows, right?
Uh-huh. Dead on, 100%.
RG.
And not even just the looks, too. No, it's the attitude as well.
I was just about to say that. I was going to say that. Well, here's the thing. Real talk. When I got back from the trip, I got asked the question about, what the girls look like there. I kid you not. RGE, I was in Colombia for, I believe, 5 or 6 days, right, with Miss Colombia. I'm not joking when I say this. Total amount of women I saw who could pass as American, right? 3 or 4. Someone goes, what do you mean by pass as American? RG, you know what I'm talking about, right? The tattoos, the attitude, the dress, right? Like the way they could. I saw 3 or 4. RG, you don't see it. All the tatted up thought look, dude. I kid you not. I was there damn near a week. I didn't see it, and I would have seen it, right? Like I'm right there in the center of everything. 3 or 4, bro. They're all tatted up with bull rings in your nose. 3 or 4. That's it. Now, RG, let's go to America. To see a tatted up warthog, how long does it take?
All you got to do is open your eyes.
Yep, 34 seconds. Oh, look, panoramic view. Yep, there it is. Look, the average American's weight is woman is 170.6 pounds. That is the largest on Earth currently. That is the largest in the history of our species. I want you to let that sink in, RG. Men have never in the history of our species had a lower expectation for women, and women in the history of our species have never had a higher expectation for men. Hey, RG, he has to be 6 foot tall at least. That's 15% of the entire male population on Earth is 6 foot or above.
Now,
right?
This is something in particular that kind of annoys me because, women, they're allowed to have whatever unrealistic standards they want. And that's, I deserve that. And all a guy asks is like, I want her to be less than 150 pounds. Like, how dare you? How dare you have the bare minimum standards, you misogynist, sexist pig? And then you wonder why no one likes you.
No one likes you.
That's why everyone is leaving. That's why you go to other countries to meet these women. That's
absolutely, and they're beautiful. Well, RG. Here's what's funny. I talked to a guy about this right when I was working today. I said, I want you to really, I want all the guys listening to this to really think about this question. Take women. So now you have, hold on, my bad. American women, right? So every single woman in America, 18 and above, right? Now you have the pie is split up 100%. RG, I want you to think about this. Just name a standard and tell me what percent you think you eliminate. Just name the first standard that comes to mind. Go. First standard.
Oh, less than 150 pounds.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Watch this. Out of 100% of American women, if the average, notice I said average, right? That means at least 50. If the average American woman is 170.6 pounds and you said under 150, right? RG, what percent do you believe you just eliminated?
I actually think it's maybe 90%.
Honestly, no cap. RG. And so the guy said, I think he said weight too, right? And I said, just literally, just throw out something, right? I said, throw out another one. Not tatted up. Damn. Okay. What are you at now, RG? 95? Okay.
Yeah.
Not ran through.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Not been a hoe. Not no. No. No.
0.9999% just was eliminated.
No mental illness haircut.
Oh god.
Never been to college because you
Right?
can't trust any of them there. Yeah.
Well, and here's the beauty that I told him. I said, I want you to think about this though. This is why men and women's expectations are different. All the expectations men put on women, they have total autonomy over, right? I want a woman who can cook. You can choose to cook, right? You choose to learn how to cook. Men don't get to choose their skin color or their height, right? If they have blonde hair, no hair, afro, dreadlocks, crew cut, like, dude, women will sit there, RGE, and be like this. He has to be at least 6'2". Okay, you're down to 9% of the entire population of men, and he has to make at least $200,000 a year. He has, and you start looking, and you know what the best part is, RGE. This is what I love women. When they go down their laundry list of demands, right? They described Christian Grey, right?
And they themselves are a 3 at best.
At best, they're a 3. And this is the best part. But RG, he has to be loyal, only have eyes for me. Wait, what?
Are you going to return the favor? Oh, of course
right?
Not. Yeah.
Look, you can't make this up. Look, when Kevin Samuels blew up, he always says, you can't make this shit up. A 3 will demand a 10 for a man, right?
And then be offended when the men have standards too.
How dare you? What? You're saying I'm not beautiful? No, you're not. You're not. You're a 3.
And then I'd also like to say, with the exception of some, really bad genetic lottery or some disfigurements, I have very rarely seen a woman who was actually fit who I wouldn't rank at least a 5, at least average.
Because even if you have a butter face, I would say you're average, but let's be honest. Except for a few rare exceptions, even if a chick is a butterface, she's not so much of a butterface that you wouldn't smash, right? You'd be like, yeah, hey, RG, what do you want me to say? She's a butterface. But if someone goes, would you smash? Go, man, that face is... Okay, look, prime example. Think of a chick that you can think of if her body were smoking hot, right? But then you put Susan's face on it, right? You'd be like, oh, man, that face, though. But you'd be like, but RG, what did we just say?
And it's all good.
Turn the lights on. We're like, hey, look, I'm gonna remember what I said earlier, right? Men, we can feature fuck. I can just smash the body, right? I'm not gonna think about the face. I'm just gonna fuck, because once you turn that light off, all right, yeah, okay, whatever, man. I'm in the zone. Look at this body though. Damn. And this is the thing, RG. There was a time when men, women, society had standards, right? We've lost that. And do you know what happens when you lose standards? You get things like wokeness. You get things like critical race theory, something you've talked about, right?
No, I just call it what it is, racism.
It's racism. Hold on, RG. Now you've heard this in your lifetime, right? I only date black men. I only date white men. I only date Latinos. No Indians. No this. Wait a minute. But when a guy says that, what do we call him?
Racist.
How dare you?
This goes in. No, it's even worse. If you don't want to date a trans woman, you're transphobic. Okay. And see, now, this is what I love, though, is none of this is my problem anymore. They can't touch me with any of that shit. It's actually, no, you're already out of my pool when you enter the 3rd dimension. So fuck off. It's no, you got no power here.
Now I gotta admit though, RG, it pains me to say this, but when I do this show with Chris, here's the thing, I have been. Everyone knows I'm a huge supporter of the trans community, and here's why: because, like I said, due to the nature of intersectionality and feminism and stacking, we know who has the most power, right? I believe very strongly there needs to be a truce between the quote unquote cis male community, right? Cis heterosexual male community and the trans community. There has to be a truce. And here's why. We have to have a truce where we go like this. All right, trans women, you guys have to defend us if a trans person steps out of line and starts saying that you're a misogynist or you're transphobic. Okay, you have to stand up for us, right? And in return, when these women come after you, we're going to stand up for you, right?
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, I've already been doing that. Like I got no problem with trans people. I'm just not dating.
Yeah,
No,
correct.
whatever.
Look. Real talk, RG. I've talked about this. I said, look, that is the crux, right? That's like that. It's the one part that we have the real issue with, right? It's the dating thing. Because here's the thing: trans women are doing this whole, you're transphobic if you are, and that's why they always want to reassure straight men that you're not considered gay if you're with trans. This is the same thing with, dude. It's another cloaked shaming tactic, right? Because basically they're getting ahead of the curve. They know if they say that you're something like because they know how men are with their sexuality, because of course they were, obviously with full on dudes before, right? They know how it's going to be perceived by other men. So that's why they always do it. If you've noticed those videos, they're preemptive. Oh, you're not gay if you're into trans women. I'm like, look, that's not my thing, right? I go, why can't we just come to this agreement? You like what you like, because let's face it, what if we start telling trans you need to date women, or saying that to women? Now, you and I both know that you notice it never goes the other way around, right? They never bash women for not dating trans women. You ever notice that? Never.
No, I know.
It's only dudes.
This goes by what I said before. Like, no, we're the only ones that aren't allowed to have standards. Like, we have to accept whatever garbage gets shoveled our way. And then they get to pick and choose whatever they want, and that's
anything.
And then they wonder why we just check out.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm done. I'm not playing this game anymore.
Well, RG, do you ever hang around like buddies of yours who are playing the game and losing? Right, there's a few of them that win. Right, shout out to my man Nick Ricada, my brother from I guess the same mother now, since his mom says that she has 2 sons. There are a few guys like Nick Ricada who are winning, right? But RGE, have you ever just been in the company of a guy who plays the game and loses? And is losing?
And is in denial about
a cuck in denial is RG, have you ever seen a guy get cucked?
Yep.
Well, okay, tell me what he said versus what you said about the situation.
No, are you talking about after he finds out it's happening and he doesn't immediately dump her?
He doesn't dump her. He just accepts it like a good cuck should.
No, so in this case, he was like, oh, it was my fault for not being there when she needed me. Like I need to be there for her, and no, it was that kind of guy. And then she had to divorce him. I don't know, after she milked him for all he was worth. Like once she bled him dry, he was out the door. And then he still could not let her go. He thought it was his fault somehow.
Now let me ask you: was this guy before he was cucked? Was he left leaning or right leaning?
He was pretty hardcore right leaning, of course.
Yep, like Jerry Falwell Jr., as you saw, was cucked, right? His wife is getting plowed by the pool boy, right? Mm-hmm. And RG, this is the reason why I brought that up. I've warned guys on Nick's show for the better part of 2+ years what's coming, right? And I had way too many people saying I was making everything up. Cuck Simulator. We shout out to our man Team Sneed.
that was some good shit.
Do you know what he said, RG? He said the jokes write themselves. RG, you've seen it in real life as I have. Dudes actually getting cucked.
Yeah, no, what you just said, the jokes write themselves. I've actually been bitching about something for the dawn of my channel. It's been almost 8 years now. You could go back, and I've done videos. If you go back a few years on my channel, you'll find a video. I think it's called Disarming Humor or something like that. Where every time we create some out there parody straw man of these guys, they say, hold my soy milk, and they not only do they become that, but they take it further. They take our parodies of them, and they take it further. Like, what is wrong with you? You're not supposed to actually be like that.
RGE, I've said this. I was on Nick's show, and it would irritate me, because here's the thing. I know there's going to be people that say, well, Drex, it was only a few people in the chat that were, kind of irking you, saying I'm making everything up, blah, blah. I said, you don't understand. we're at a point, Eagle. Every guy should know, and that's what bothers me. The fact that there's RG, I'm strict about this. The fact that the marriage rate is not 0% means that feminism needs help. You see what I'm saying? The marriage rate should be 0. The fact that there are guys who have hope is telling me that there are still too many simps, right? How is the marriage rate not 0? Everybody knows. Look, hey, RG, have you ever walked up to look? You can watch. Let's say celebrity culture, right? Everybody's like, oh, the guy's gonna lose. Yeah, there's like rare exceptions, right? Like Adele or someone, a rich woman who married a broke guy like Britney Spears. But those are rare exceptions, right? As a general rule of thumb, we know the man's gonna get hosed every single time, right? Men know this, women know this. Yeah, you still see guys get married, right? You're like, wait a minute.
Well, yeah, and you see that this is kind of similar to something else. Even before I started caring about any of this red pill stuff, I've always wondered, every single person I've ever known bitches about spam emails. Yet someone must be fucking clicking on them, or else this shit would have ended years ago. Who are these people that keep falling for this?
And they still get scammed. Like, Eagle, like there's been times where like I said, it's my weakness. When I confess to Ty as a Ty, I have to find a way to beat my it's my Achilles heel. It's empathy. I kid you not, RG. We just had one of our guys in the chat tell me that I believe he's a cousin of his is about to get divorced or raped, right? He's about to get bent over, right? A part of me, there's this part of me, RG, I'm dying. I might actually hire a therapist to get rid of my empathy. It's the one thing that holds me back, right? I want to have the ability to just not care about men. To be like, you know what? He should have known better, right? I can't help it. I'm like, okay, here's what he needs to do. That's the part of me that has to die. The part of me that cares that men are getting bent over out here because there's too much information. You see what I'm saying? How are you, dude? How are you falling for this?
You have
no excuse.
We literally have access to all the information in the world, and you are willfully ignorant if you're ignorant in current.
That's what I'm saying, like, dude. When I see these tradcucks running their mouth and stuff, I'm like, there's just no way. So when I started the channel, I was like, I want men to know the truth, and I wanted to get them straight from the horse's mouth. That's why, RGE, I have women on all the time, bro. Our live chats, our live Q&A. In fact, one of our girls is actually in Vegas right now. I can actually read this right here on the show. You got to hear this, man. I can't make this up. So, Eagle, I got back from Anime Matsuri yesterday, right? Monday. On Monday night, she asked me how was the convention, right? 7:10 p.m. Her plane left at, let's see, looks like, oh yeah, she's taking off at 7:17 p.m. Central Standard Time, right? She arrives in Vegas at 10:19, so 3 hours later, right? Do you know what she said at 11:36? This is 1 hour and 17 minutes in. I can't make this up. I don't want to wear anything, because I asked her something about, show me a picture of you wearing something nice. Do you know what her response was? I don't want to wear anything nice for this. And it says ducking, right? This ducking bitch, obviously, it autocorrects. This is already a mistake. I'm disgusted. And I'm like, wait a minute. How did this happen within an hour, right? She texts me later this morning at 9:30 a.m. He's all clingy and annoying. I'm glad I have my own bed. I told him I want to sleep alone. Not negotiable. This dude is so lame. He just, all caps, looks lame.
And did she send a photo? And is it the typical soy boy?
Listen, I haven't seen the dude. I already know he's a soy boy. And do you know what the best part is? She sent me a string of pictures at tonight, 8:41 p.m. RGE, do you want me to tell you and everybody in the world what the pictures are of? Now, you just heard what she said about this dude, right? Oh, and I forgot to tell you, before she left, she ordered Queen of Spades temporary tattoos from Amazon. Eagle, she sent me pictures of her in a damn helicopter. Who do you think paid for all this?
Oh, it was the cuck, of course.
The cuck.
Although, no, dude, I will say right now, if I was a hot chick and I could find a guy that was just going to be my fucking ATM and not expect anything else from me, and I could go out banging all the other anyone else I want, I don't blame any woman who gets with a guy like that and
I don't
exploits
at
me.
all. Oh, here's the thing. So Eagle, I had people call me a hypocrite for this because I go, hold on now. I said, look, it is my duty. God has told me to eradicate bitch-made simps and cucks from existence, right? I actively do everything I can to destroy them. I tell women, and look, dude, anyone in this chat, anyone who's in my Discord can tell you right now, when we have like live Q&As, Eagle, I openly tell women to milk simps out of every single dollar they have, destroy them. Feel no, and I actually say this. You guys know I'm telling the truth. I always say simps, cucks, they aren't even people. I don't view RGE. If you squash a mosquito because it goes smack, you kill it, right? Have you ever felt bad about that? Ever?
Nope.
Why, RGE? You ended a life, right?
Well, no, you see, I go out of my way sometimes to like catch and release flies and moths and spiders. And then partly because I don't want to kill them, partly because I'd rather just catch them than clean up the mess. But mosquitoes, like, no, you fucked with me first. This is what you get.
Yeah, and here's the thing, is that I want everyone to understand, women, this is for all you bitch made simps out there, right? You beta cucks. They don't even view you as a human being, flesh and blood. You're just an ATM to them. They don't even view you as human. Eagle, you know this is true. If a woman has her pay pigs, right? Her sugar daddies and all that stuff. Let's use like Amaranth and all these ethots, right? If their little pay pigs got into a car accident, right? Oh, I can't pay you any money. Is she going to feel anything for these guys? Like, oh my God, it's so tragic that you got hurt. I hope you get well soon. No.
Nope.
No. She doesn't care about you. That I want men to not care about them. I want men to look at simps and cucks and just be like this, as you would look at a mosquito. Smack. Oh, well. But Drex, this guy just got divorce graped. Oh, well. He shouldn't have gotten married, right?
Yep.
Jeff Bezos.
There's no excuse in current. No. Oh God, no. The rich guys are the worst.
The worst.
If you're a billionaire, you know damn well what she's after, and you get married anyway. Like, okay. Yeah, just don't cry to me when the inevitable happens. But actually, no. Chris Rock was absolutely right. No, these rich celebrities, unless you're like, was it Robin Williams? Unless you get you get divorced in your prime earning phase, and then they refuse to lower your payments as your gigs dry up. There's a few exceptions of guys that get completely hosed like that, but in general, Chris Rock was right. If you're rich and she takes half of your 200 million, you'll probably survive. But if you're making 20,000 and she takes half of that, well, sucks to be you.
It really sucks. And we're at this tipping point, RGE, because I think all of it, if you start to really think about it, all of it is kind of converging on itself, right? And the people that hold the power ultimately is not who people think it is. The ones who hold the power are the ones who are the most useful, right? The most capable. Who is that? It is the masculine, almost always heterosexual, strong, free-thinking men, regardless of color. And Eagle, we've talked about it in the past about the need for guys to start doing more things, like you talked about earlier with forums, to start joining forces, right? To start helping one another. Because the division has gotten out of control, right? Like, guys start saying like,
no, within reason. But I help those who want it, I guess. But again, like these guys, like these wokies that have actively destroyed everything, I will never help them.
oh,
They could go get fucked. I don't care. And dude, If you think that's harsh, just remember, these are people who operate on infiltration and subversion. They gain your trust and stab you in the back. If you are so fucking stupid you would trust someone that you know does that, you deserve everything you got coming to you, and I won't help you either. As I use the analogy, like, we could have an impenetrable fortress, but if we got cucks in our ranks that open the gates to every Trojan horse that runs by, they're like, nope. As soon as I see someone opening the gates, I'm kicking them out too. Like that's it. We're done. But everyone who knows exactly the cancer we need to keep out, oh yeah, sure, I'll help them if they need it.
Yeah. I'm talking about the fellow free thinking guys, because that's the only one. Like that's who's most valuable. And I said this on Nick's show once. I said, Nick, did you ever really stop and think about who is the most desired? Well, let's go down the line, because I'll repeat this, Eagle. The trans community, right? Trans women. Who are they most actively trying to court? Who are they really after? It's the cis male, right? The cis masculine male. It doesn't matter if it's black, white, whatever, right? That's the guy they want, right? The alpha male, right? All right. Who does the feminist want? We talk about feminists, right? Who do they desire? Who's the guy that they really want? Oh,
Same
that's funny.
thing, actually.
Same guy. No. Here's where it gets a little tricky. Hey, Eagle. Who do gay men want?
Same thing.
The same thing. Wow, wait a minute. Hold on. We got 3 distinctly different groups of people all wanting the same thing. Hold on. Is there anyone else? How about, we already talked about the feminist women. What about the tradcon women? Or what? Who do they want, Eagle? Wait a minute.
Same thing.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the one group of man that everyone's looking for, the gay guy wants, because I'm going to turn him out. So the gay guy wants the straight, masculine, heterosexual male. The woman wants that, of all spectrums, right? The trans woman wants that. It's like, wait a minute. You can't say that about anyone else. If you say...
No, Drex, there's one group you're forgetting.
Ooh, who's that?
Lesbian women also want the same thing. Now, they also want the same thing, except minus the penis.
Oh, I almost forgot. And here's the thing. We all know I preached on this channel that
exist. Yeah.
they do not exist, because, let me ask you, Eagle, have you ever had a lesbian, quote unquote lesbian, obviously air quotes, try to come at you or someone you know for the D?
Yeah, no, they always do that when they think I think it's the same thing. Like when you don't pay attention to women,
that's right.
Then then even if they had no interest in you before, that's God. You say you want to help guys, right?
Yep.
So that's I keep telling guys, like, stop chasing pussy, work on yourself, just get in shape. Start working out, get a decent job, and the pussy will come for you. If that's what you want, that's all you got to do. Because women, they look down on guys that are trying too hard to get with them.
Absolutely.
But imagine if that same. But actually, I've seen guys actually successfully pull this off, although it's pretty difficult. I don't think I'd recommend it. But they tried the whole too clingy thing at first. Mm-hmm. And then they just completely ignore her, and she misses that attention and comes to him. But that's all it is. Like if they think they can't get you, that makes them want you more. And then you got that's the same thing with these lesbians. Funny, because let's be honest, real life lesbians don't look like porn lesbians.
No, they do not.
No.
That is a myth. Every now and then, I will admit, it does happen where you'll see a chick, like, let's say she's on an app or something, right? And she's fit, she's attractive. I'm only into women. I'm only looking for women. We all know that that's the same chick who probably had a kid, right? So clearly you were into dudes at some point. So what ends up happening is,
God, no, it's even funnier. Like when how do lesbians actually have sex? Like, the whole scissoring thing is even a myth. No, they got fucking strap-ons and shit.
They're always trying to emulate what? The heterosexual masculine man.
They got the looks down. I mean, shit, may as well go with the strap-on.
Right? Yeah. Well, the thing I find funny about it though is that I remember, the first when I discovered that the myth was false. I was very young. I was I want to say 22 or 23, right? It was before I was fully ingratiated into the lifestyle. And it was actually the person who introduced me to, which was Mistress Gwen, right? A dominatrix. And I told this story because I said it was the first time that it was like I got reality pushed up against what I was being told. I was told that if a woman's a lesbian, remember, RG, I was not that dude who was going to act all thirsty. I was like, if a chick told me, oh yeah, Drex, I'm a lesbian, I'd be like this, oh, that's cool. And I would just be cool. They're like she was, I would treat her like a dude, right? Like, oh, well, if I'm not smashing you, then okay, you know, we can still talk. No big deal. I took her to ground zero and she wanted to check the place out. And afterwards, we were in the drive-through of McDonald's. She literally, I'm in the driver's seat, goes across and starts unbuckling in the McDonald's drive-through, right? Imagine me, RG. I have never tried to, do anything with this one, never tried anything, right? When she did that, I was like, wait a minute. This woman has openly said she is only into women. She has never once said, I'm looking for something else, right? Once that moment happened, RG, so I was like this, wait a minute. Something's off. And I started putting it to the test, right? This is what men do, right? We form a hypothesis, right? We test it. Wait a minute. What if, and I started going to the real world. I said, let me see if this is true. And this is where you come from too. You started seeing, especially on these dating apps, as they became more prolific, a lot of these lesbians, quote unquote, were looking for side D on the low, right?
Yep.
And similarly, this goes back to the feminist chick. RG, let me ask you this. What has a feminist, like I'm talking like a real feminist, what has she told you behind closed doors? So she has one persona in public, right? I hate men, blah, 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 women's rights, blah, blah. But when you got her behind closed doors, what does she say?
Daddy issues.
Yep. RG, all of them. I kid you not. They're like, and they will tell you, I just want to be a woman. I just want to be feminine and be put in my place. Daddy issues. I'm like, wait a minute. What, you kind of, I'm not going to lie, RG, a part of me almost feels bad because like, obviously they've been lied to. Just like, think about it. The simp is lied to just like the feminist, right? They're just on opposite sides.
Yeah. Now, my sympathy only goes so far. Like, I only have sympathy for you until you cause irreparable damage to me.
Correct.
Then at that point, like, I don't care that you were just ignorant. Like, there are some lines that once you cross, there's no coming back from.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
Here's
when you
the
say
reason why
happy wife, happy life.
Shit. No, so we were talking about the divorce rates, right?
Oh yeah.
No, you got. But what about all those other guys that are living happily? It's like, nah, they're stuck in cheaper to keeper marriages.
Oh God, RGE. We had RPM on. We talked about that because that's most of, like when I tell you guys, I said people think I'm joking when I say this. Nick Rekieta and Lady Rackets, I'm not joking when I say this. People under 40. So don't tell me about your great grandparents. We're talking about people within, let's even 50 and under, right? He's the only guy I can say who's happily married. I'm being completely honest. That's it.
Yeah,
I know personally.
And that's I agree with you, and this is what pisses me off is these guys will always point to like the one guy that's happily married, like, well, he did it. Like that'd be like me saying like, well, that guy won the lottery, so I just need to keep going, right?
Yep, and spend all my money, right?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it is that I look at these guys, I go, think about the guys that you guys know, man. For all you guys out there. When you guys have a poker night or you guys are out having drinks or something, look at his body language. Does he look happy? Right? Does he look happy? What is his body language? Most of these dudes are miserable. They are in miserable marriages. RG, you said it earlier. They can't go where they want to go. They can't do what they want to do. They can't hang out with who they want to hang out with. Where are you going? What are you doing? Meanwhile, everything is a one-way street, right? If he asks her where is she going, which is girls' night out.
You don't own me.
Tell me. You don't own me. You don't tell me what to do. What's that, Tim?
Oh, we're wrapping up.
We should probably wrap up.
RG, I did want to ask you a question. You said that you started 8 years ago. I meant to ask you this. What has been your biggest surprise since joining?
Well, how many guys are actually aware of what's going on, but they just don't want to say it out in the open? And so I was always kind of confused. Like in Japan, they're very open about it. Like,
Facts.
pretty much, no, like 75% of their men under like 40 are just like, man, fuck this shit. I'm checking out, and they're very open about it. And I think it's because they don't have the same culture of Puritanism that we have here. So maybe they didn't. Even in Japan, a country where social pressure is everything, they don't care. So I was always wondering, like, what about here in America? Like the economy isn't definitely not the best. The dating market is non-existent as far as I'm concerned here. And where are all these guys? And then I started noticing too that, well, the marriage rates are plummeting, so they must be there somewhere, and they're all doing what I advocate for. Even they were even doing it before I was talking about it. They're ghosting. They're hiding in plain sight. Yeah,
Plain sight. And the thing is, I think part of that is a direct manifestation and consequence of hookup culture, because a lot of these guys, okay, so RG, they may not be getting married. Either now you bump into that guy who says things like, "Well, if I meet the right one, right?" But then you kind of see that they can't quite pull the trigger, right? Like they may date, they may even cohabitate, right? Maybe, but they can't quite pull the trigger. I think that you talk about the amount of options out there. Eagle, I think that's what happened. These dudes, because if you're in the group of guys who can get at least somewhat consistent sex, you're kind of like, well, if I can get it without the relationship or without marriage, especially without marriage, I guess I just won't ever really get. I mean, like me and my brother are cool, man. We're cool. We're good.
Dude, what you were just hinting on. This is why I unironically appreciate and love feminism. Because the so-called women's sexual liberation ultimately ended up liberating men. If you're a PUA, if you're a guy that all you want is to go get some pussy, this is your paradise right now. And previously, you had to get married to do that without society ostracizing you. And right now, because you can't have women running around sleeping with everybody and then punish the men for doing, well, other than Pound Me Too anyway, but we see where that's leading. So,
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful death, man. Me Too is done. Now I gotta say this though. It's about to rev back up due to who's in office, right? So it's gonna come back, and you're starting to see it come back.
Oh yeah, we got our first woman president in office. So
yeah. Me Too's gonna come back. Now hold the line, gents. This is temporary, because remember what I told you guys earlier. The proxy war, right? The gender war is amongst women now. So men have checked out. The women are, like I said, RG, I know you aren't aware of this, but trust me when I say there are a lot of videos now of women bashing other women. There's even terms, oh, she's a pick-me. They're fighting.
Well, I saw that at the beginning when even 8 years ago when I started. Like there were there were a few legitimate ones like Karen Strawn. But even then, I think even in her case, I think a big reason why she thinks the way she does is she had two sons. And she definitely doesn't want them to be screwed over by the system. Yep. But that whatever, I mean, what she does good work, whatever her ultimate reasoning may be, that doesn't really matter. But even back then, there were always the this happened with all the nerdy hobbies too, which is why I caught onto it 8 years ago. Every time you got a group of guys hanging out, a woman looks in and says, "Ooh, that's a total sausage fest. I could get my pick." Yep. And yeah, these women, like, they see, a male dominated space, and they're, "Ooh, if I could insert myself in there,
and feminize it and ruin it.
I could get all the dick I want." No, see, that's not even their goal at the beginning. Like they just
at the beginning, it's just for attention.
One of them, I want
it's just attention.
I want to hook up, but then ultimately, when they make that place their home, now everything has to change. Yeah.
Well, do you know where you see this, Eagle? You see it at school. Because there are women's only college stuff. Women don't want to go to a women's only college, right? Remember, men are toxic. Men are rapists.
It's almost as if they only go to college to meet a future doctor or something.
That's right. Yeah. It's hilarious, dude. When I see this tomfoolery out in the open, I point out people go, come on, man, you guys can't be this. You guys are still falling for this. Like, so when I see these videos of women going, we love men, we appreciate men, and those guys go, yes, queen, we need more like you. I go, come on, guys, you haven't figured out yet. She's a chameleon, bro. Come on. But it's beautiful, man. That's why I love guys like you and the content you create. You call out the woke garbage for what it is. You, Tug, you know what I'm saying? Yellow Flash, like so many guys out there, so many guys in this space. And you know what? And I gotta be honest with you, Eagle. That's one of the biggest surprises I had too. When I first came on YouTube, both on Nick's channel and then when Tim and I started this one, which is I didn't realize there were that many dudes out there who are like, yeah, I see the same thing, man. Eagle, I don't know if I ever said it, you ever knew this, but I said it during one of Nick's shows. I said, one of the reasons why I was doing the things I was doing when people were criticizing me, well, Drex, you're just another Tyrone. I said, one of the reasons why I was doing that, I was just smashing hoes, I felt all alone. Because everywhere I went was nothing but bitch-made simps, right? So I was like, well, if this is all I got to deal with, if all I have to work with are dudes who are going to stab me in the back because they're simps, I'm just not going to hang around with dudes and just go smash chicks, just run through them, right? Like you said, it's no different than me like, yeah, I need to take a dump. I need to take a leak. I need to go smash a thought. It was all within the same realm to me, right? I truly believe that no one was like me. And until I found TFM, and I was like, wait a minute. He's saying this, he sees what I see. And I was like, oh, and then guys like you, because I found you through TFM, and it's like, oh my God, Eagle, what if, and this goes back to what you said, what if there's a bunch of guys out there, for whatever reason, can't say it, but they feel united in what's going on and being against it, right? The woke culture, feminism, all this not bitch-made simps. And I said, man, wouldn't that be something if guys like us started like really connecting, be like, yo, what's up? Like you said, content, right? Comics, video games, all that stuff, right? Just finally having men have Eagle. We don't have any safe spaces, right? Any male spaces, right?
Yeah, no, that's right, and that's actually my only problem with it, because the type of people that keep asking for safe spaces, I would gladly give it to them because I don't want them around me anyway. My problem is, they want to be able to fuck off to their place where I can't go there and bother them, yet they keep coming out of their safe space and bugging me. Like, I'm not allowed to exclude them. Like, well,
that's where my beef came from.
Once we replace the legacy industry, oh, dude, that there's going to be some missing teeth from the force of that pendulum swinging back.
I can't wait to see it because, I mean, Eagle, we know. When we talk about, remember, when someone goes, Drex, what were the original safe spaces? Eagle, let's be honest. The Boy Scouts was a safe space, right? Because it was gender exclusive. So by definition, that's a safe. Okay, well, what's it safe from? Female influence, right? Cigar shops, the barber shop. These women are so masculine. They have dude haircuts. They're in the barber shop sitting next to you getting a cut. Damn. I can't escape anywhere. You can't go to the bar. You can't go to the club. You can't go to the cigar shop. You can't go to the country club, right? There's nowhere there's lots of places girls can go and be safe from dudes, right? Guys can't enter, right? But the opposite is not true. So eventually guys are like, you know what? Eagle, what did you say earlier? We got these hidden forums, right? They're on the dark web. They're over here. They're over there. You need invite only. This is the only safe space.
Yeah, been fun.
No, but Eagle, you can definitely go ahead and shill everything you want to shill, sir.
Well, actually, the only thing I got to shill right now, other than the usual, hey, follow me on all my, while it still exists, I have the YouTube channel or Twitter. I don't really post much on Twitter anymore because that's just, you post anything, they'll get you banned. So I just use Twitter for shilling, but otherwise, still got the Blade Devil campaign running on Indiegogo, which is doing pretty well. I actually put out some mouse pads last week, sold out in like an hour, got them shipped out and delivered most of them by yesterday, surprisingly.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, the only issue is the book is still behind, but we're working through that, and once we work out the production and fulfillment issues, then we can really hit the ground running and get to replacing these freaking lunatics.
I can't wait, dude. I see it coming.
Goal. Yeah. That's my goal, by the way. And I don't want to play nice with them. I don't want to be accepted by the legacy industry. Fuck every last one of them. I want to replace them. I want nothing to. And see, that's you guys. You know. I guess no. To end. I know we're like 10 minutes from the end here, but you know the story of what happened with TSR.
No, what's the deal with that?
Oh God! So basically, in case you don't know, you're not nerdy enough. So TSR was the company that made Dungeons and Dragons, and you know the state of that hobby right now. It's the same as any other entertainment.
Yep, it's done.
So like Gary Gygax's son and a bunch of the other like old guys, like they literally are a bunch of boomers. I'm not even using that term as derogatory, like literal boomers decided that no, we got to bring fun and escapism back to this hobby, and the expected result happened. They got canceled, and they just immediately bent the knee. And while it is sickening, and they did lose all support because of that, they made one fatal flaw. And if there's one thing I want everyone to learn, no, they did, but no, that's not what I'm talking about. Like they were doomed from the start because they said they're boomers. They don't know how things operate right now. They didn't know how bad things got. When they thought they were taking on the establishment, they thought they were taking on Wizards of the Coast, which is true. But then they were also taking on the entire media, all the conventions, all the forums, all of social media. They were not prepared. These guys, they had to fold because their business model involved conventions in particular, and they were being blacklisted from every single convention. Like, how the hell are they going to operate? And that was their flaw. It was relying on any part of the legacy industry. And just think about what Comicsgate's doing. If Comicsgate was relying on like the legacy industry's distribution network or the legacy comic shops, you think they'd still be around right now? Like, fuck no, they'd be canceled by now. You have to start from scratch. Every single step you have to make. Like, you have to completely separate from them. And so then they got no power over you anymore. And when they come crawling to you, you can kick them back out. Dude, and that's the beauty. Now, when you make your own, if you start from the bottom, everyone's against you, you still succeed and make your own, you now have the right till the rest of your days. If anyone complains, say, if you don't like it, make your own. Yep. That's something these guys tell us all the time. But once you successfully do it and you catch them whining, like, I did it. Why don't you make your own, huh?
Go create something.
I showed you how it's done. Quit bitching and make your... Oh, right. You can't, can you?
Because I can't.
Yeah. Man, it sucks being talentless, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone in the legacy industry, it seems like if it wasn't for some like corporate, some corpo who cared more about like Twitter cred than making money, giving them a job, they would still be in, like, all of these editors and writers and artists would probably be just sticking to minimum wage jobs, to be honest with you.
I agree completely. It's what's happened to. I'm sure you've seen some of these newest Marvel comics coming out. The artwork looks like my daughter drew in kindergarten. It's awful, and I'm like, wow, they've fallen this far. Like, yeah, but at the same time, manga is blowing up. Independence, right? All the indies guys, those guys are starting to blow up, gain steam. Once all Marvel, DC, the big houses are finally done, right? When they're just done, right? When that day finally comes, because like you said, they're going to be ones begging guys like you. Let's say 10 years from now, right? When Marvel's completely, it's a distant memory, right? They're going to be the ones coming to these now guys, the guys who were at first where you're at now, right? We're working on the book. Working on the book becomes, hey man, we got an audience, right? You see what I'm saying? You see where 10 years is? Like, you'll start saying, hey man, we have an audience. We got revenue stream. Help. We want to jump on your bandwagon. We want to hitch a ride. Nah, I'm good, fam.
Yep.
No, leave these people where they stay, man.
Yeah, and even then, I think we got to be careful not to centralize again. We have to stay as decentralized as possible. Because that way, if one team happens to fall, they don't take everyone else down with them. Like
Right.
we can never become dependent on a single corporate structure ever again.
Ever.
And that's that's kind of like what I'm doing. Like obviously, I'm on decent terms with most of the rest of Comicsgate, but I pretty much stick to doing my own stuff. Like no, you know what? We might help each other out here and there, but we are distinctly separate entities, and it needs to stay that way. Like we cannot fall for the trap of like, oh, we all need to come together under one banner and one leader and one company. Like, no, so then that's when we fail because the infiltrators have the one target they need to go after. The single point of failure. That's what we need to avoid.
I agree completely, man. But yeah, everybody at Rage Golden Eagle, this guy, I love him to death. So happy to have you on finally after all that time we were yipping and yapping on Rekida's show and everyone else's. And yeah, Eagle, you're an inspiration to a lot of people out there, man. So I definitely appreciate you coming on.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Those are some famous last words. I just wanted to tell you that. But thanks for the sentiment there.
Much appreciated, man. So peace out to everybody out there in the world. Tim, send us on home before Rekida's show. I think Tim might have died, but what can you do?
Yeah, no, that's why he was rushing us earlier. It was like, guys, I got to take a shit, man. Hurry up.
Yeah.
Stop yapping.
It's been wild, man. It's the best part though, Eagle, is I look at everything that's happening, man. And RPM and I were talking about this. There's this sentiment now with dudes. Have you noticed it where you're just like walking out and about? Guys have a look to them, right? They just kind of give like that head nod, or just kind of like that right?
Mm-hmm.
Because every guy, dude, if every guy, and this doesn't matter what color you are, where you come from, everybody with a penis is getting shitted on, unless you're a tranny, right? And guys have just gotten sick of it. And I think that, like, dude, even when I took my daughter to Matsuri, right? Dudes are just showing love. Like, yo, what up, man? You want to take a picture? Dude, there's do you remember a time, Eagle? There used to be like an awkwardness. You remember that guys wouldn't, there's a certain level of social awkwardness, right? Now a dude is like this, like, yo, you're Eagle? Hey man, you mind if I get a picture? There's like, oh my God, you're Vic Mignogna. Dudes are literally just like, yo, what up? Yo, what up, Vic? And there's just like this, because guys have gotten so beat down for decades now. They're just kind of like, man, any interaction with another man that's just positive, like bro, what up, bro? They're good with it. Like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, what up?
Yeah, well, part of the advantage too is I think in part thanks to Twitter and how social media revealed how horrible most celebrities are. Yep. It's pretty much the end of celebrity worship, and that's why the dude I haven't been to a convention. No, I mean I've been to a few conventions since I started my channel, but obviously it's not like I was announcing I was going to be there, and I was pretty incognito. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if anyone ever sees me at a convention in the future, they at least know is. I've been streaming for how many years now? Like, if this was an act, do you think I would have slipped up at least once or twice? Everyone knows exactly what to expect when they see me, and that's what the complete opposite of most of these celebrities. So yeah, I mean, it'll be great to just hang out and shit. I know what to expect from quite a few of my audience too. So hey, great.
Right.
If we ever meet up in person, we can have a great time.
Well, Nick and I talked about that last year when the pandemic hits and the lockdowns happened, and the celebrities started going off the rails because now they were devoid of what they craved the most, which is attention and adoration, right? And then someone goes, "What came next?" It wasn't just like the money thing. What ended up happening is, it was like what you said, Eagle. People realize without someone writing the script for these people, they're lost. They're just miserable people. Ellen DeGeneres, right? A lot of people got exposed, right? People are like, wait a minute, these celebrities are just horrible people. And then people start going, and Eagle, I got a kid, obviously, right, who's going to turn 11, and I will tell you right now, my daughter, everyone, kids in her group, right, who are coming up in this world, I promise you, YouTube celebrities mean more to them than any actual celebrity. Because remember, in their mind, they're not celebrities at all, right?
Yeah,
I
rightly
mean,
so.
if I said Jane Fonda to my daughter, who? Jennifer Lopez. Maybe she kind of knows her because from watching her like on a TV show or something. But like, if you tell her Corey Kenshin, if my daughter met Corey Kenshin, she'd flip out. PewDiePie, flip out. What is it? What is that girl? Was it SS Sniper? Well, there's all kinds of people that I've seen her watch, right? And Azzy Land, like she would just freak out about some of these people because that's their celebrity. They don't care about Will Smith. You saw that with Brie Larson's channel, right? I'm Brie Larson. No one cares.
Yeah, well, it's exactly what you said. When they're trying to be themselves without a script. Ooh, although Twitter, I think for all the damage it's done to society, it has lifted the curtain on what goes on with celebrities. Like, so previously, people used to look up to them like they were was it gods among men, and Twitter gave us a look at to how horrible they really are. It's been awesome.
Yeah, well, they will, obviously they get very partisan on Twitter, right? And there was a time when you remember that there was a time when if I said I'm Democrat and you say you're Republican or this guy's independent, there was a time when like guys were still friends. Like people you could still and people even dated that were not in the same political party, right? All of that changed. You see what I'm saying? Like that whole like the division came, and once the division came, in Eagle, you know what I think the biggest thing is? Transparency. If someone were to ask me, Drex, what do you think social media represents? I believe it represents transparency via stream of consciousness, right? Hey, Eagle, did you think about it? Yeah. Did you type it? Yeah. Did you click send? Yeah. Then it happened in real time, right? I hate this person. Ooh, man, I should have sent that, right? I feel this way about this that just happened. I'm so triggered. And you send it, now it's been sent. You see what I'm saying? Before,
no takebacks.
Yeah, you remember back in the day, Eagle, when you were at school, because the worst you could get into, if you didn't just say something right then and there, which wasn't very common, someone may have had to write a note, right? Or did you hear what this person said about you? You had time to gather your thoughts. Now, because you just hit something, click send, game over. It's over.
Yeah, and you think you could just delete it, but someone's. I mean, even with streams. See, though, if I pull a stream down, it's not because I want to hide something that happened there. It's because I don't want to get a strike on my channel or something. I know damn well that while I'm streaming, someone is recording. So no matter what edits I might do in the future, it's out there forever. And God, I still remember when MySpace became a thing. And these fucking idiots had to learn that nothing you post on the internet is private. It's like, whoa, how come the whole world got access to my private nudes that I put on my MySpace account? Like, your MySpace account that's publicly visible, you fucking idiot.
But you can't tell them anything. I mean, Eagle, have you ever? Okay, I'll give you a prime example. If anyone wanted to know, like, what is the mind of like your everyday average? We'll use women, right? Just go on Fresh and Fit. That's how most of them think. Because people are going to say, no, that's just those materialistic girls in Miami and blah blah blah. No. That's how most of them think. Like, dude, the entitlement, the attitude, all this stuff. Fresh and Fit has exposed them in a whole different light, because there were guys out there saying, oh, no, I don't believe it. And now they're seeing like, oh, man, this is a disaster. And then you go on Twitter, this is a disaster. You go to work, this is a disaster. You know what, Eagle? I had when I had Team Sneed on, right? He hit one of the lines, the whole like, they're not all like that. You just got to look in the right place, right? Do you know why I love when people say that, especially dudes? I ask them simply, okay, tell me where this place is. Right? Yeah. Tell me. Tell me where these girls are.
I'd like to know. Yeah, where is it?
I want to know. I'm curious. Listen, I'm off the dating market, so don't worry about me trying to date any of these girls. I just want to know just to tell the world where they're at. Do you know what's funny? Not one person has been able to give me an answer, right? Because you can't say church, because we all know about church girls, right? And they're always like, ooh, can't say that. Okay, where? Oh, at work? Yeah, because that's smart, right? With me too. They go like, oh, okay, not work. I can't go to the library. can't go to martial arts gyms, can't go to the gym
Wait.
period with a gym thought.
Wait,
They ran out.
Why would you ever go to a homeless shelter to find a woman, though? You said library, so
You see what I'm saying? Like these dudes. Oh, Sneed is in here. Yeah. So when Sneed said that, that's why I said it, because I'm like, wait a minute, dude. If you're saying that there's these places, where are they at? Because they're not there, right? They aren't, dude. When we had Mama Vic in here for 2 hours, Eagle.
well,
She said none of them are married. None, 0%.
Well, I will actually be the contrarian here. I'll tell you where the other places are. Costa Rica.
Yeah. You can't bring them here though. Hold on. Let's be fair. Can you bring them back to America? Yes or no?
Fuck no.
No. So that's
not just no. Fuck no.
No. It's over, dude. Eagle, have you ever seen one of your buddies or someone you know God forbid she's Asian or Russian, bring her back to the West and saw what happened to him?
Yep. It usually only takes like 6 months.
6 months.
And they're
6 months to a year.
And they're indistinguishable from your average American woman.
Indistinguishable. And here's what people don't understand. I love that TFM talked about this. All women want to be doing what these American women are doing, these westernized women, right? The only reason why they can't is because they're in a system that inhibits that, right?
Absolutely.
So when you remove the inhibition and go, wow, I don't have to have my dad hovering over me in Eastern Europe. I don't have the church hovering over me. So now that's why when people are like, I'm so shocked. She was such a good girl. What happened? Dude, you put her worse. Now let's be honest, Eagle. The opposite is true of men. If you tell a man, hey, Eagle, you just moved to this country, you can do anything you want here. A guy's like, yeah, but that's not right. You see the difference? No, Eagle, you can just punch. You can punch chicks in the face. I don't do that because that's not right. You see how dudes are static? Women are malleable. Dude, you bring these women to these westernized countries, it's a wrap. Any of you guys out there talking about, I'm gonna get a woman from Asia. Go do it then. Go take a woman from Cambodia, from the Philippines, from Thailand, and bring her to California and see how long it takes for her to learn the divorce laws.
Yeah, I had a friend who married a Korean woman, and within 6 months of coming back here, she was. I think once she got the green card, that's all she needed him for.
That's it. Yeah. His utility expired. Eagle, I have a job to do in the manosphere. I don't want guys to have hope. I keep saying that. I don't want them to have any hope. The fact that there's a man on earth who has hope in the West means that I have work to do.
They're not paying attention, clearly.
They're not paying attention. Eagle, none. No. Not the, well, with Drex, there's always a none. I don't want them to have any. I want them to look out there and just like this. I'm going to work on myself, Drex. I'm done. Okay, Drex, finally, I'm done. You know what reminds me of? Do you remember The Matrix Reloaded when Smith Smith lost in Matrix 1, right? In Matrix 2, he starts cloning himself, right? That's what I want to see guys do. I don't want them to argue. I just want them to go like this. And hand in the chest. And I just created another red pill man. You see what I'm saying? Stop with all the, she's out there somewhere. Stop. It's over. Okay? It's over.
There's still that 1 in a million chance you might win the lottery, but it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah. What if everyone that you walked around and encountered day to day, what if they said they're putting all their money on the lottery? Literally every dime they have, right? Everyone that you know, Eagle, said that to you. Oh, well, Eagle, you're insane. I'm putting all my eggs in the lottery basket. Like, wait a minute, you just sold your house? Yeah, because I get more chances to win. It's like, okay, mathematically, right? We all understand, with the exponential growth, compound numbers, right? Every single number in the lottery, it has a different combination, right? It's not like you just have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it, right? And then the Powerball. No. You could have 3 of the numbers right, but not the other 2. You see what I'm saying? Like when you look at every combination, it's like trillions of combinations. So the odds are stacked so far against you that to do that is literally insane. Like, dude, don't. No, man, Eagle, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and do it. And then when they lose everything, who do they cry to?
Yep, and then they expect you to put your life on hold, bailing them out after you warned them not to do that.
Eagle, I lost it all. Dude, I've had people cry to me about their ex. I just look at them like, are you serious? You're like, oh, you're shocked she cheated on you? Are you shocked you got divorce raped? Dude, I actually have someone that's going to come on the show. Eagle, you don't know this, but the guys in the chat know. He is a devout Catholic. I'm talking devout, like Bible thumper level, right? Got cucked by his now ex-wife with 7 kids. What do you think his life is like right now?
Well, how many of those kids are his?
I do believe that these all are, because I've seen his kids. They do look like him and her. Now, should he still go out to get him checked? I believe so. She's with the Latino guy now. So being that they're both white, I obviously know but it could still be another white guy, right? Could be. Obviously, ethnicity is nature's paternity test, right? If you're a white couple and the kid comes out brown, bruh, she's cheating. She's cheating on you. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, Eagle. I think it's scarier that she cheats on you with the same ethnic group, right? You've heard those stories, right? Like, you ever hear that story about that guy in England, the millionaire, who found out that all 3 of his kids weren't his, all boys? They weren't even his kids. Yeah. He was actually infertile. Remember that? He had cystic fibrosis. And he's like, wait, these kids aren't mine. He's actually sterile.
That whole story was, that was something else. Like, he went to the doctor for something completely different.
Different.
And then he found out he's been sterile his whole life. Hey, wait a minute.
You know what, though? Here's the thing, though. Here's why I felt for that dude. I think that is the harshest way to learn it. That's worse than walking in on your girl. That's worse than, finding out through a text. If you ask me, what would be the most heartbreaking way to find out that, your girl's is a thought? I think that is it, right? Because think about, Eagle, put yourself in his shoes. Let me just go to the doctor for this physical. And you go to the doctor, and now, Eagle, you and I both know what happened. He made a comment about kids, right? Yeah, my boys. Oh, you adopted? No.
Yeah.
No, I didn't adopt. Because think about, how else would that come up? Think about, the only way it could have come up is for him to have mentioned his kids, and the doctor was like, wait a minute. Based on your condition, you can't have kids. No, doc. These are my kids. I've been married for 25 years. Show me your kids. Hey, could you imagine what that would... Dude, imagine that drive home.
We need to sit down. Yeah.
We need to sit down, bro. Like, dude, you can't have kids. No. You can't tell me I can't have kids if I have 3 kids, doc. No. Listen carefully. You were born without the ability to reproduce. So I promise you, sir, those are not your children. And then now he's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, well, and actually, no, the scariest thing is, if his doctor was a woman, would she have told him?
Ooh, man. Ooh, shit.
Yeah, because that is actually something.
They cover for each other, the sisterhood.
Yeah, no, I remember this from a few years ago that a lot of times, especially like nurses and female doctors, they refuse to tell men when their kids aren't biologically theirs, even if they know, because they're like, oh, I just don't want to disrupt that family.
Yeah. She won't go against the sisterhood. And Eagle, the problems go so deep in our society. And that's why I tell these guys, just check out. Stop fighting. Stop. Look, you know what it reminds me of? Eagle, how many times have you seen a game where a coach left in a player when he shouldn't have, right? He should have taken them out because the game was out of reach.
All the fucking time. But
you see it, right? And you're like, well,
it's either that or it's it's a player that's normally good and it's like, oh, he's just off, right? Oh no. When you got a player who's normally real good and suddenly they're not playing like they usually are, that's usually a bad sign. There's something wrong with them. But just leave them in there.
Leave them in there. And look what happened to RG3. When you start putting guys out there and you start risking injury, and that's why, and remember, who do they blame for that? They go after the coach. wait a minute, you were down 28 points, right? You're down 4 touchdowns deep into the fourth quarter, and you left him out there, and now he got his knee blown out. Your job is on the line now, right? Because you're gonna be held accountable. You need to do this with everything: your friends, your family, the men in your life, the women in your life, the children in your life. Because I just told my daughter that, look, I see you gaining chub because you aren't doing anything, because this year off has disrupted what you were normally doing, right? She was in soccer also. So I said, look, you better get it together. You better do, I would always push her stomach and go, sit-ups. So she'll be back with me next week, right? And I would tell her, look, the phone is gone. I'm going to have a number. You're going to step on a scale. I'm going to tell you what number you have to be before school starts. You will be at that number, period. See? This whole excuse. No. Eagle. That's how these girls got to be warthogs, right? Well, I can get a tattoo. No. No tattoos. No piercings. No weight gain. Like there should be rule. There are no standards, no rules, no nothing out here in the streets, man. It's got to be an embarrassment for me. I don't know where Tim is. Yeah, we need to get off of here because it's 11:18. I mean, I think he probably passed out or died, or the recorder. I think the recorder's still going. Oh, and RGE, if you want to get in on that, you are more than welcome to. Obviously, you know about the whole hot girl summer trend, like old ass Sharon Stone getting with a 25-year-old struggle rapper, right? Yeah. We have a thing. We have a saying here. These bitches ain't shit, which they aren't. And so, if you have any stories that you want to share about whether you were in the military, whether you were just out doing it, of these broads getting ran through, right? You are more than welcome to hop in and be like, "Yo, Drex, tell me when I can record my segment," and we'll record your segment. We have military guys come on. We had TFM telling some stories, man, in the Navy.
No, what I think you should do is get in touch with Terrence Popp if you can. He's got plenty. Oh God! And the more cock story, and then
Terrence Popp, man. Do you want something? Do you know what he actually said? That of all the things he said, there's one thing he said that really stood out to me more than anything else, and I could see where he was coming from. He loves roasting hoes like Amy Horton and all that, right? He said something, Eagle, that I think is about to be the future. You know what that is? He said, "Ladies, 40 to 80 is a long time," right? Because that's like the feminism, like that. That's where the feminism really kicks in overdrive, right? It's when they hit the wall, right?
Yeah, and then I keep warning women that you can ignore me if you want, but your future is Sinead O'Connor.
It is. Oh man, dude. When he said that, I remember he said it in a video. I can't remember. I think he was roasting Amy Horton, and I remember him saying that. I remember, I think I was like working or something. I remember I just stopped. I was like, wait a minute, man. He's that, because remember, Eagle, for us, it doesn't work that way, right? Remember, I'm 38. When I hit 40, it's not like, oh my God, I panic. It's just like this. Oh yeah, it's cool. Because Eagle, between 48, Jesus, she looks awful. We just get more money. We have more of our hobbies that we get to explore. We get more comfortable so long as we aren't out here, being serial baby daddies or divorce scraped. I look at what's coming for these women. Bruh. They are about to, dude, the amount of women that are about to hit the wall. Think about it. Look, Eagle, if the marriage rate is the lowest it's been in recorded history, right? Lowest in history, right? What's going to happen in the next 20 years? All the chicks who are on OnlyFans, Eagle, think about this. Where are they going to be in 5 to 10, right? 5 to 10 years. All the girls who are on OnlyFans, right? E-thoughts. Where are they going to be?
Well, I think they're all banking on universal basic income being a thing by then.
Agreed. But remember, though, they banked on Biden taking care of the student loans, right? What happened? Oh, it didn't happen.
Okay, now that was the funniest shit when as soon as he said he wasn't, or at least his puppet master told him to say he's not going to do it, then all the reeing on Reddit, they, well, I stopped paying it because I thought he was going to forgive it. Now my finances are fucked. Say, well, I mean, clearly going to college did you a lot of good if you thought that was a good idea. If there's ever a case against college, that's it.
Well, Eagle, here's what makes it so great. the reason why you're seeing all these "We Want Men" videos back, right, is because think about it. Okay, from their perspective,
money dried up.
All the money dried up, right? And now, remember, rent moratorium is up, right? Student loan debts aren't going to be covered. So now, okay, now watch this though, Eagle. It all compounds on itself, right? That's why Coach Greg Adams said you're about to see the rise of the homosexual. Eagle, when fall hits and all those bills are due, right? Think about what you've been doing all this time. Man bad. I don't need no man. I can't stand. Uh-oh. Right? Uh-oh. OnlyFans, that's not going to work. Oh, Eagle, we actually looked it up. You guys put in the chat, what was the average money that an OnlyFans thought made? I think was it you guys correct me if I'm wrong, was it $248, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. If one of you guys can Google that. I think it was something like $248 is the average. Remember, that includes everybody, right? That's the median. Yeah, there's some guy on there. There's probably some chicks who make $20,000 a month, but most of these girls don't make any money. Hell, go to a strip club. Eagle, have you ever been to a strip club and just seen that stripper who doesn't make money?
Like, yep, I have. And see, no, what happened with OnlyFans is at first, your average Jane was able to make a decent living. Like there's these, there were articles written about them. These women who were like fours at best, making like $50,000 a month on OnlyFans. And then the porn stars and other celebrities started moving on. Yeah, oh god, no, especially the porn stars.
Yes.
These porn no, I mean, if I was them, I'd do the same thing because in a lot of cases,
it makes more money.
They make more money than literally being fucked on camera every day.
Facts.
Yeah.
I mean, good for them. Look, like I said, just like our girl Miss Lore, a resident of the Migtown podcast, our girl Miss Lore goes out here and milks simps, right? She milks them.
Good on her. Good
for you. Milk these simps out of literally. Here's the thing. I want you. Look. So one of the things I talked about. I don't think I mentioned it with Sneed, but like I want the male suicide rate to skyrocket. And when I say males, I said males, not men. I want the male suicide rate to skyrocket. I want these bitch-made simps to get used and abused by these e-thoughts and just go ahead and jump off a cliff, literally. Okay, literally, not figuratively, literally. Okay, because Eagle, in what way are they helping? Simps don't help. Look, they aren't helping the women. They are helping the men. They are helping society. They don't help it. All they do is make everything worse. How do you think we got to the point we're at right now? It was because of simps, right? Give them the right to vote. Believe all women. Do you know who says believe all women the most? Simps, right?
Male feminists. Who are the actual predators.
Dude, they say it even more than women do. So I'm sitting there like, but you know what, man? And people were, why does Shrek say that they're not people? Man, come on, man. Come on. You guys can't take these simps seriously. But fuck them. But yeah, Eagle, thanks for coming on. Tim will probably have that recorder that'll die at some point. He's probably dead, literally. Somebody check on his ass. But yeah, I am out of here, peeps. Like I said, I will holler at you guys tomorrow. I know that some of you guys had some stuff to talk about in the live Q&A. Otherwise, if I feel so inclined, I might say something tonight from my phone. This room is hot as shit. So, Eagle, once again, thanks a bunch. Sneed, I see you in there, man. You know I'm going to talk to you later, too. I love all you guys. Peace out, y'all.
Yep, thanks for coming. See you later.